Nobody really wants to see a loved one being carted off to hospital in an ambulance. So I'm 51 this year, and I live in Launceston. I've got 2 teenage children and a wife, Sarah. I was diagnosed back in 2019 as having chronic heart disease. So I was 48 when that happened. And at that time, not very active, but active enough and still feeling young that it didn't make sense, and I wasn't really that accepting of it. In fact, I probably worked through or was active through symptoms when I shouldn't have been. But it transpired my first procedure was to get stents installed to unblock on the left anterior descending artery a 90+% block. And I think I'd been feeling what I now know are symptoms of angina and possibly precursors to a heart attack for a good 3 or 4 months without actually doing anything about it. So I went in and had stents installed, but really still didn't accept the state, my physical state, and continued to just behave as if nothing had happened. The rehabilitation process, whilst it's really effective to get all that information, I still felt kind of fairly young at heart and thought that I've been fixed, I can get back and do those things. Fast forward to earlier this year when I had another cardiac event. Fortunately not a full-blown heart attack, but enough to send me into hospital again, and they needed to clear another, not 90% plus, but it was a fairly severely blocked branch artery. So I'm now beginning to listen, finally. I was at home. I'd had dinner, and after a day, it was a Sunday night, after kind of walking, catching up with a few people, having dinner with family, and then we were watching television. And I think by that time I'd tried to convince myself that I know the difference between what's a heart issue and what's indigestion, because of course I'm eminently qualified to do all that, which is just, it's silly. But I started to get indigestion-like pain, but then it radiated towards my back, under my left arm, and then up towards my jaw. And the strange thing is, I hadn't done anything other than eat dinner and sit in a chair. I probably took about an hour and a half after that to say to Sarah, look, there's something a bit different about this. And she intervened and the paramedics came. I got wired up, I got took off, and shortly after that I had an angioplasty. So it was in a difficult location to put a stent in, but there was an artery that needed to be opened.